Good morning, everybody. It is supposed to be raining here all day. So, in the spirit of that, I am going to stay cozy here for the next 10 minutes. This is kind of how I've just been sitting in front of my computer. And I was like, ooh, I should take off my hood. And then I was like, meh, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna leave it on. So, this is a daily 10-minute live stream. Marketing Mondays are usually a bit longer, but today is Wednesday, so it's a 10-minute live stream as part of this 45 live challenge thing that I'm doing for 45 days. But do please remember that I will be moving this strictly into the Defiant Business group, the link for which you can find in the description for this live stream. So do be sure to click on it and go join the group, or else you're going to be missing out on all these great live streams that I'm committed to doing for my group only from now on. So if you are watching this live, give me a hashtag live. If you are watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And today we are going to talk about radical authenticity and self-management, because self-management is the second of the 4 quadrants for emotional intelligence. And your girl just finished up with an emotional intelligence certification, and I'm really excited about it because it definitely just is embedded into radical authenticity, the practice of it, the work of weaving it through your marketing and your business, all of that. So let's see what I've got here. Oh, Dana's in the group. Woo! Yes, Dana is in the group. And actually, it's funny, if you go look at the welcome post that I just posted this morning, everybody's dropping gifts and being like super fun. And that's exactly the type of energy we want there in the group. So first thing I want to address is that self-management is not inauthentic. All right. So sometimes we think of self-management like we're just kind of like locking ourselves down and being, now I am being professional. I have my hands on my hips. You can't see that, but I am being professional now, and so that's what people tend to think of. But managing yourself isn't authentic. And and that's because radical authenticity isn't about being so locked down, right, that you never show anything. And it's not about going off the rails. So it's like, oh, if I manage myself, if I'm managing my emotions, does that mean that I'm like not being angry when I'm angry? Am I not, really doing what it is that I want to do, or express myself? And that's not true either. And that's because self-awareness and self-management actually put you closer to expressing your true message. And if you go watch the video from yesterday, I say that because self-awareness helps you realize that you are not your emotions. So flying off the rails because you're super angry that someone cut you off, that's not you being authentic. That's not you being authentic, because your emotions are not you, right? Right? You are not anger. You are feeling angry, but you are not anger, right? And so we're going to talk about some of the components that go into self-management. I got a couple comments here. Joe's noticing the hood. Yeah, look, it's raining outside. It's super rainy, so I don't know. This is how I'm feeling today. And then Dana was asking me where I got my certification. So I actually got my certification through the EIQ2 Center, the Emotional Intelligence EIQ Center. And I can drop the link for that. I'm really excited about it. Just the work and then the team behind it is amazing. And I'm actually their like marketing lead consultant. So I'm pretty excited about it. But let me get back on track. So there are some key components. There's 5 key components of self-management, the different areas for you to kind of look at in terms of improving your self-management. And please do watch the self-awareness video from yesterday if you haven't, because this self-management piece builds on the self-awareness piece. You cannot have self-management without self-awareness. So the first one is self-control. And you're like, but wait, what about authenticity? Again, being authentic is not about being out of control. And so typically like self-control is like handling your impulses. So your impulses can tie to your emotions, which again are not your true self. Your emotions are not part of your true self. Your emotions typically stem from stories, right? And so our emotions will inform old stories that then appear in current reactions that we're having. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So effectively handling your impulses means that you take the time to kind of explore those feelings, those emotions, and actually make sure if the reaction that you're having resonates with your authentic self. Right? Because we do things that, oh, I've done something I now regret. for example, right? Like if you're really angry and you say something that you regretted, was that in resonance? Was that in attunement? Were you attuned with your true self when those words came out of your mouth? No. And a little bit of self-control would have helped you in that moment. So that's a really big piece right there. The self-control, your ability to still move forward in the face of like really trying an emotional time. Self-control is a part of that. Goal-oriented action. And so this is like keeping your eye on the long game, right? Like it's like goal-oriented performance. You want to focus to achieve your goals, and like that, you want to have like an emotional persistence and tenacity. Like you can really stick with something, and it's because you've got your eye on the prize. All right. So that's your goal-oriented action. And you choose to pursue challenging objectives, right? That tie back to like your self-appreciation and your self-worth, which again, we talked about yesterday. And then the other piece, the third piece is integrity. And this piece, again, like it ties back to the self-awareness, because if you are not aware of who you are, like what your personal identity is, and it's always covered up and masked by other people's expectations, how on earth are you supposed to operate from a place of integrity when you don't know what that is? And so that's why you have to have the self-awareness component locked down. You have to know who you are in order to know what your values are. Are those your values, or are those like, you know, your parents' values, your culture's values, your company's values? Are those yours? And when I say company values, I'm thinking of like employees, right? If you are building your own brand in your own company, are those actual values that you have, or are those the values you think that you're supposed to have? If those are the values you think that you're supposed to have and they're not your actual values, then you are not operating out of a place of integrity, and it will show in all of your business operations, your marketing, your sales, everything. It comes through. All right, Dana's taking notes. Thank you, Dana. Part number 4 is the motivation piece. And so that's you being able to energize yourself. And when you are in tune with your authentic self, you can actually motivate yourself. That your motivation then comes from the inside. We do have like external drivers and everything, but you want to make sure that you are not operating out of a space where you only have external motivators, which is why typically people who chase money, there's a reason why that doesn't last long. There's a reason why they don't typically stay happy, because money is an external motivator, and you can continue to make more of it and not feel like you have enough of it. So once you have that self-management piece, the self-awareness, the self-management piece is locked in, you will be able to internally motivate yourself through your hard times. And then finally, number 5, creativity and flexibility. If you are not anchored in your self-awareness and therefore able to do these other parts of self-management, then it is hard to be creative and flexible because you are unanchored. You are unanchored. Just imagine just a flag that is just, maybe it's a flag that's got 2 points of contact on the pole, right? When it is firmly anchored there and it waves the way that it is supposed to. But if one of those clasps comes undone, then it is just all over the place in a way that it is not meant to be. Imagine a small boat in a storm. Right? Like it is not operating the way that it's supposed to, because it is in an environment in which it was not built for. So when you anchor yourself in your self-awareness and your identity, your true authentic self, when you are being radically authentic, you are no longer, battered this way and that way by any of the storms that appear in your business and your life. You are firmly anchored and prepared and capable of handling the things that come your way. And when you have a big vision, you have to be prepared for those storms, because they will come. Okay. Joe, I'm so glad you're still watching, because Joe said that he was that person who was motivated by money and it was a horrible experience. So Joe, we're going to have to talk more about that. And Dana, again, thank you so much for the notes. I am coming up just on time, everybody. So please, again, make sure you go and join the group so you don't miss these live streams, because we're coming up on just a couple weeks left. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you tomorrow for part 3.